Okay, gorgeous friend. This chapter is about lifestyle, but not the Instagram version, not the one day win version, not the fantasy that costs $1 million before you're allowed to feel good. This is about blooming vigorously in every season. When I started talking about Thrivestyle, many women said to me that thriving was so far from where they're at that they can't even comprehend how to get on the path. But when I looked up the definition of thriving, it is simply to grow vigorously, it is to bloom. So, when you are feeling that things are really going at an extraordinary pace, you're thriving, baby. And what I want to challenge right now is the idea that thriving is an end product or a destination, because it's not. Thriving is the experience of being fully alive. It is the difference between just existing from day to day and blooming where you are right now. Because what I'm seeing is that, quite frankly, darling, most women are just existing, and we are changing that right here, right now. So, as I sat with this, I really had to feel into what it feels like in my body. And you know by now that there was a time when I literally only existed. It was not a pretty sight. But when I put myself back into that state, what I feel is that there is a slowness to my energy, to my movements, to my thoughts, to my words. There is a slump in my shoulders. There is a slight hunch forward. And I can literally feel how my energy drops and color almost dulls to my senses. So everything just feels heavier than what it needs to. When I'm in my state of thrive, my posture shifts instantly. My shoulders are back, my spine is tall, my breath is so much deeper. I am fluid, I am sensual, I'm sensually alive, I'm alert, and I am immersed in the experience. Because what I've come to understand is that thriving is not about doing more, but it is about being more present. It's about allowing life to feel vivid. Um, and I also want to say this because this is the excuse that I hear for people to not thrive. The difference between existing and thriving is not money, it is aliveness. If you are saying that you are waiting for the money to thrive, you are robbing yourself of the richness of this moment. So, as with everything, it comes back to identity. And the identity that I want to invite you into is that I am the woman who blooms vigorously in every season, whether it is the seasons of nature or the season of life. You get to bloom vigorously right now, darling. So, if that is who you are, then life reorganizes around that declaration. And I also want you to know that life wants to bloom. Nature only knows expansion, the universe only knows growth, which means, as part of the universe, thrive is your natural state. It took me a long time to remember this, but things are meant to work for you. And in fact, they are always working out for you. We just don't always see it whilst we're in the thick of things. But things are meant to unfold in the most delightful way. And things are meant to feel really rich. So when you understand thriving as identity, you stop waiting for permission. You stop postponing your joy and you start living as the woman who blooms now. And it is such a magnificent experience to wake up in the morning and to feel so much appreciation for the life that I am living right now and to feel the joy almost one step ahead of my consciousness returning to my body and knowing that this is setting the tone for my day. And it doesn't mean that every day just is rainbows and sunshine. No, in fact, right now it's pouring rain and freezing cold outside. But even in the cold, I've learned to light the fire and put on the candles and the jazz music and to allow myself to enjoy, be full in joy in even this. And whenever something unexpected and unpleasant happens in my life, I get to allow the experience thereof and then know that the crappy experience is creating the desire of the opposite. And so a new creation is already set in motion. And so I get to find joy even in that knowing. So, thriving is sensory, it is detail, it is scent, it's music, it's fabric, it's texture, it's movement. Um, I know for myself that when I thrive, there's always music playing in my home. There's always candles, and I light them at every opportunity. There is freshness in the air. My body is moving. Um, Even something as simple as washing the dishes can feel different when I'm immersed in the moment instead of just rushing through it. It's this the soapiness. It is the acts of removing that which does not belong on the plate anymore. There's something very satisfying about all of it. Sounds a little crazy, but it really is true. It is about immersing myself in the experience. Um, and what I've come to see is many women today are overstimulated and underpleasured, overstimulated through social media, overstimulated through things demanding their attention, overstimulated through the amount of information that gets in their awareness from one moment to the next, overstimulated through action, overstimulated through adrenaline. But there's so little pleasure. And pleasure is our natural state as women. So we are busy being busy. We are busy being productive. We are busy being efficient. But are we delighted? Like, because thriving means you allow yourself to be delighted by your own life. And that does not cost $1 million. It costs attention. Bringing your attention to your life is the price that you pay. God, what a horrible price to pay, bringing attention to your fabulous life. Okay, now there is a universal law called the law of rhythm. It means everything moves in cycles, in seasons, tides, breath, even menstrual cycles for women. And your energy is designed to move. So, this is not about constant high energy because a constant in any energy is flatlining, regardless of where it is. But instead, thriving honors rhythm. You know, some mornings in my house is really slow and luxurious, and other mornings I wake up and I'm like, Let's go, baby. Mama's ready to create something sensational. Like, it's not a one-toned existence. Some seasons are expansive, others are restorative. And thriving is all about respecting the season you are in and blooming there. I have so much compassion for young women at this time who have put the um, expectation on themselves that they all have to be building seven-figure businesses in their 20s whilst having babies and trying to raise kids, and everything has to happen now and simultaneously. Whereas I gave myself permission when there was time to have babies and there was time to have to build a business. They didn't all have to happen at the same time, at the same speed, because we don't live at one speed. We need to live in alignment with our rhythms. So, from this point forward, I want you to design your weeks with intention. I want you to have money days, to have creative days, to have adventure days, date nights, pampering days. It's not indulgent, darling. It is intelligent. This is how we honor ourselves as women and allowing our rhythm to be perfect. Now, let's talk a little bit about gratitude, because we hear so much about gratitude. You know, we have a gratitude practice, and but what I've seen is that for the most part, gratitude has become verbal. You know, people, I'm saying I'm grateful for this, and I'm trying to find three things that I'm grateful for in the morning to write down. But it's all just verbal, blah, blah, blah. Appreciation, on the other hand, is embodied. Appreciation is gratitude in action. So when you appreciate your home, for instance, you care for it. When you appreciate your wardrobe, you maintain it. When you appreciate your car, you wash it. When you appreciate your blessings, you elevate them. What I have come to see is that the more I appreciate my life, gratitude in action, the more there is to appreciate. Because appreciation creates expansion. And this is how you show the universe you are ready for more, not by asking, but by honoring, by appreciating, by fully enjoying. That is the language of love with the universe. So let's talk a little bit about environment, because your environment declares who you believe you are. From your wardrobe to your bedroom to your kitchen to your calendar. And I also want to say here that thriving does not mean that you now have to go out and buy new things. That's not at all what I'm talking about. I'm talking about refining what you already have. Remove what no longer fits, fix what is broken, elevate the details, light the candle, play the music, because at the end of the day, thriving is layered. It is intentional, it is sensual, and it is available to you right now. Right now. So have a look at your environment, see what needs to go, see what needs to be fixed, see what needs to be brought back to life, see what there is for you to enjoy in your environment right now, and get rid of all the clutter. Because the clutter, the holding on, the grasping of, is what's actually robbing you of the enjoyment of your life. I just see so many women postponing their thrive. They create this fantasy lifestyle in their minds that requires wealth, time, or a different body. You know, it's when I've made the $1 million. When I've dropped the 2 dress sizes. When I have more time. And then in the process, they dismiss the richness available right here, right here, right now, with everything that you have, including this gorgeous body, which is why we did body last time. Because at the end of the day, we want to partner with our body, the body that we have right now, to create the best experience right now. So if you want a yacht, beautiful. But here's what I want you to start doing with your desires. Ask yourself what surrounds it. What surrounds that yacht? Think of the upkeep, the maintenance, the taxes, the staff. And if you then still desire it, go for it. But thriving is not dependent on expensive symbols. It is dependent on immersion. You can bloom vigorously with what you have right now. You can live richly before your bank account changes. I have seen some of the financially poorest people living some of the richest, most joyful lives. It's a choice. And ironically, that richness shifts everything, the richness of life. So when you bloom vigorously in every season, something shifts. You become luminous, you become embodied, you become present, you become the woman whose life feels delicious. Not because everything is perfect. Oh my God. No, but because she is immersed. This is lifestyle as art. This is thriving as identity. This is the woman who evolves abundantly in every area of her life. And really, honey, it begins the moment you decide that blooming is your natural state. So please don't wait a moment longer. Make that decision today. Enjoy the richness of your life, fully immersed. It's in the details. You've got this. I'll see you on our next embodiment call.